Alright guys, if you're following along, you should now have Linux installed in your computer. And we're going to go through the command line, basic commands, and how to install programs. If you haven't, I'll first explain what the command line is. So if you haven't used it before or very much, basically uh, most of your computing, most people's computing is done using a GUI or graphical user interface. That's what you see here with buttons. You click things and then it tells the computer to do stuff. Now the advantage of using the command line is it's a lot more specific. In a lot of cases it's a lot more powerful and you often know exactly what it's doing. Also, a lot of documentation when you're a developer is written purely for the command line. It's a lot easier to say, okay, copy paste this command, then click here, and then look for this thing and click there. It's much more easier to replicate if you just paste in a few commands. There's also a lot of files like log files, uh, hidden files, stuff related to the computer that you just can't access without using the command line. So it's extremely important you learn this stuff. And it's not that hard. It's just a matter of using it a few times and getting some practice. So let's get started. So the first command would be to open the terminal. I believe on Manjaro it's Control Alt and T. If it's not for you, if it's not working, then I would go and look at the shortcuts and make sure you have that because you're going to want to open the terminal a lot. So let's open it up. Control T, and this is the terminal here. So we can type neofetch, and this command will go, hey, we're on Linux, we're on Manjaro. So that's great. Now, as you type in commands, install programs, like run a program in the terminal, it might get very cluttered. So I'd recommend to use this command often. Control plus L will clear the terminal. All right, so now we've cleared that. Now we're going to get into navigating with it. So very common one I use is ls, and that'll basically show you the files and the directories or folders in your current directory. So right now I'm guessing we're in the home of our OS, so I could now navigate to one. So this command is going to be cd and then where you want to navigate to. So I'm going to go cd desktop. And now we're in the desktop. So if we want to confirm that, we can use that ls command and see where we're at. And so we have some files there. We have some folders. And I have a folder here called programs on the desktop, so I can cd into that. Look at that. Now I'm in programs. And you don't have to go one at a time. You can go nested. So to back out of a program, I'll show you, or a directory, is you do cd dot dot, and that'll take you to the parent. So okay. So yeah, cd dot dot will take you to the parent. So we're going to back out again. So we go to the home on our OS, and if we type ls here, all right, we're back home. So you can do nested. So instead of just desktop, we can do desktop / programs. And then I'll take us 2 directories deep rather than having to type in the command each time. So very useful. So cd to get in, cd space dot dot to go up a parent. I often use these all the time. Oh, this should be ls. All right. Then to create a file. So now we're in program. So let's do touch program.txt. Well, let's just make a basic text file. So now we type ls and we see we have that text file in the directory. We can make another one, touch program2.txt. And I recommend you don't just directly copy what I'm typing, but play with the commands, see that they're working, do that sort of thing. Maybe make a file um, in pictures or videos or documents, and then navigate home, then navigate back to that file, stuff like that. You know, just get used to that sort of thing. Now, another command we can do, this is pretty useful, is nano, and then we can do program.txt, and this is like a built-in text editor in the terminal. So a lot of the time when you're working on like a server, you might have to change a file without being able to directly, you know, open like a IDE or something. So from the terminal here, you can just change a file. So hello, I changed this file. And then hit Control X to exit here, hit enter, yes, and then enter. So now we've changed the file. So to view the contents of a file, we can do a command called cat. So cat program.txt, and then right here we have it. So hello, I changed this file. So very useful, especially if you can't, you know, access a visual text editor. You can't access Notepad or something like that. And let me show these. I'm thinking I just show you the commands as we go over them. All right, so yeah, that's nano, touch, and cat. And then another useful one is deleting a directory. So I'm going to cd out of here. And so this one's very powerful. Be careful, guys. Don't delete your whole computer using this. So it's rm-rf, and then the name of the file or directory you want to delete. In this case, I want to delete programs because it just has the two we made. And then enter. And as you see, that folder disappeared. So very, very powerful. You don't have to, you can delete like nested folders with this. So whatever is in there is gone. It's a very powerful command, and you will be using that a lot. Now to make a folder, we do mkdir, and then we'll make a programs folder. And then if, as you see on the desktop, it's there, but let's assume we're not always on the desktop. We can type ls, and we have a programs folder. So if we cd to programs, now we're in there again. And ls, see the contents were deleted. And yeah, that's, so we've made a folder, we've made files, we've made folders, we've edited files. We can navigate through things in here. And this is only like, you know, a dozen or so commands. So if we hit Control L, that'll clear it. We can do CD. Let's go back to home. So we're back home. Control L. Very useful. We made a directory. And then, yeah, lastly, in the command line, you can cancel a current action by pressing Control C. So oftentimes you'll like host a server through the terminal, or you'll install something or whatever, and if you want to cancel out of that, just hit Control C on the keyboard. All right. Now, another powerful thing you can do, which I highly recommend, is you can install and uninstall all your programs from the terminal. So on Manjaro or Arch, we use something called pacman. If you're on a different distribution of Linux or Mac, it's going to be something else, but a quick Google search will tell you what those commands are. I'm going to go through the Manjaro ones here. So pacman is the built-in one. To install something with pacman, you need to type sudo pacman-s and then the name of the program. So we want to install something called Yay, so I'm going to do that. Not the wrapper, but a package manager. All right. So you basically, if you have the name correct, it'll say, okay, do you want to install this? And a lot of times, whatever is capital out of the two choices, Y or N, hitting the enter button will proceed. It will go with that capital one, and in this case, it would proceed. If it was capital N, it's going to default to no, and nothing's going to happen. So here I'm going to hit the N and hit enter. So that is how you install a program. And now you have to have the correct spelling of it. So if you just type random stuff, it's going to say, hey, we don't have that program. Arch, our repository of programs, that's not one of them. So you have to get the name right, and you can search for a program as well. So you could do sudo pacman yay, or sorry, sudo pacman capital S, lowercase s, and then we could do yay. And now we see, okay, we have two programs to install, and it gives a brief description of them as well. So this looks like some documentation tool, and it's called Ruby Yard. That's probably not it. And then this one's called Yay, Pacman wrapper and AUR helper, ready to go. That's exactly what we want. So go ahead and install Yay with that command. Once again, it's oh, sorry, this is another tip for you. If you type up on the keyboard and down, you can see previous commands you've typed. So like, let's say you're running a server, you have to type out like run this program on this port, something specific. Instead of having to copy and paste that from clipboard, something along those lines, you just type up and down on the keyboard. So right here, use this command sudo pacman capital S and then yay. If you don't use sudo, this is important, it won't work. Sudo basically says to run this with elevated privileges, or an administrator, if you're familiar with that. It's basically saying, okay, I have the authority, I'm going to do something powerful, in this case download a program and install it, so use sudo. Now that's only for pacman. For whatever reason, yay just kind of skips that process. So you can just type yay and install programs with that. If I hadn't already mentioned that, that's what yay is it's a alternative to pacman, which has access to more programs. So pacman only has kind of the core Arch repository, but yay adds to that. So it's going to have a wider library, but the quality is going to be a bit lower. It's less curated. So go ahead and try installing yay with sudo pacman yay. To remove a program, you can do sudo pacman r and then the program name. And it is case sensitive on these flags. So capital S, capital R. I showed you how to search for programs. It's capital S, lowercase s. And also, a good way to look for programs is just use the internet and use the Arch wiki, and it'll very often tell you what you need. So I like the browser Brave, so we can use yay to install that, yay-s, lowercase s, Brave, and see what we get. We get a lot. If you went to the Arch wiki, it would say, okay, get Brave bin. So I'll hit Control L, yay-s, Brave bin. And then here you could install it if you'd like. So very useful. You don't, and it's not like Windows or something else where you have to click, download an installer, find the installer, click through it, and it'll bug out. This is, I'm gonna hit Control C and abort that. Yeah, but yeah, it's very useful to install programs this way. And then to uninstall is the -R. And then lastly, if you want to see what's installed on your computer, you could do yay or pacman-q, and it gives you all the programs you have installed. So I hope that helped. I'm going to give you guys access to the cheat sheet in the description of the video. And yeah, that's basically the command line. If you need more help, play it back, rewatch, but this will go a long way in getting you comfortable with Linux, with command line, and if you can write programs in this environment, then when you're working on the back end, working on a server, you're going to be extremely comfortable with it. All right, so I hope this helped. I'm going to try to be more consistent, get a new video out soon. The next video I'm making is how to make your first program. It's very simple, straightforward, and please join my Discord, and I'll answer any questions you have in there. Thanks.